Throughout the course of our lives, we inevitably have to deal with a variety of individuals who stir up trouble and make our lives difficult and unpleasant. At first, these people can be charming. It is not rare for them to have a magnetic personality that attracts us until we realize they are not who we thought they were. They may suddenly become aggressive and hurtful. We just can't figure out why they act the way they do. Their behavior is so incongruent and it doesn't make any sense. It is even more interesting and somehow scary to realize that we are that person, one with irrational reactions and behaviors. Perhaps anger or some other strong emotion constantly takes hold of you and pushes you to do or say something you will obviously regret. The emotion comes up so suddenly that you don't see it coming. Perhaps you always fall in love with people that are clearly wrong for you, but you can't seem to break the negative pattern. We are left to wonder what is truly going on inside of us. If we had free will, we wouldn't indulge in these self-destructive behaviors. It's as if an inner demon was controlling our lives. What if we could find the root cause to all of this? If we could understand why people behave the way they do, we would not let them drag us down. If we understood our own behavior, we could root out negative habits, break negative patterns, and gain better control of our lives. Our behavior is driven by forces from within that most of us don't understand. These forces are human nature. Human nature can be beneficial to some people, but hurtful to others. The laws of human nature gives the reader an introduction to this. It can help us understand why we behave the way we do so that we can become better and happier human beings. Master your emotional self. The law of irrationality. We are rarely in the present moment. Most people spend their lives dwelling on the past or planning the future. Planning a future is always pleasant. We like to imagine ourselves accomplishing our goals and living the life we want, but people rarely think of the challenges they will inevitably have to overcome to get there. The greatest challenge of all is our emotions. They define us, and if we don't learn to master them, they will define our future. They make us see what we want to see, depending on our mood. And this disconnect from reality is the source of the bad decisions and negative patterns that haunt our lives. Successful people learned how to master their emotions. They became more rational. It is a tough skill to master, but one that will pay off. Like most people, you think you're rational, but you're not. Rationality is not something you're born with. It's an ability you have to cultivate. Keep watching to discover how you can do this. People don't like to take the blame for their bad choices. They rather blame other people, their circumstances, or bad luck. These could certainly be contributing factors to their failures, but most likely, not the main ones. The main reason why people don't accomplish their goals is because of their lack of rationality. Their emotions take hold of their behavior and cause them to make bad choices. Let's establish the difference between a rational person and an irrational one. They are both emotional, but rational people detach themselves from their emotions and manage to control their impulses through introspection. Irrational people act according to how they feel without thinking of the consequences. Rational people have positive patterns. They set goals and accomplish them. They're able to work with other people, and they can handle success. Irrational people don't ever seem to accomplish their goals. They are reactive, and if they manage to get lucky and achieve success, it is usually short-lived. If you follow these next 3 steps, over time, you will become a more rational person. Step 1. Recognize the biases. We tell ourselves we want the truth, but we manage to label something as true as long as it's something we already believe in, regardless of the facts. Our ego doesn't want us to see anything that challenges our beliefs. Here are some examples. Confirmation bias. We manage to find evidence that confirms what we already believe, or we find a way to modify the objective facts to fit our beliefs. Conviction bias. We believe something so strongly that we are convinced it's true, even if we lack evidence. Appearance bias. We think we see people for who they are rather than the front they show to us and others. The group bias. We believe we came up with our own ideas when the reality is that we adopted them from our group. The blame bias. We tell ourselves we learn from our mistakes, but it's too painful to focus on our failures, so our ego doesn't let us. We ignore what is too painful to see, and for this reason, we don't integrate the lesson and we make the same mistakes in the future. The superiority bias. We can easily see other people's shortcomings, but our ego won't let us see our own. For this reason, we think of ourselves as smarter, more ethical, and even better looking than other people. Step 2. Beware the inflaming factors. It's important to be aware of the people and the circumstances that trigger you. Try to remember the last time someone said or did something that infuriated you. The anger was so strong that it took over you and pushed you to do or say something you later regretted. This doesn't have to happen again. Look inside yourself and answer this question: who and what triggers me? Find the answer, and you can come up with a plan to avoid this from happening again. You weren't born with these triggers. You developed them because of some negative experience you had as a child. If your parents made you feel unworthy of their love, chances are that you now turn aggressive whenever a person makes you feel this way. When it comes to achieving success, be particularly wary of your ego. The people who get rich quickly were just lucky, and they are bound to lose everything because they lack knowledge and work ethic. Be extra wary of sudden success and attention. They are not built on anything that lasts, and they have an addictive pull, and the fall is always painful. If you want a clear example of a man who allowed his ego to take control of him and led him to make the wrong decisions and later paid the price for it, read What I Learned Losing $1 Million by Jim Paul and Brendan Moynihan. Step 3. Bring out the rational self. Most people are irrational, but that doesn't mean rationality can't be developed. There is a small group of rational people, and you can be part of it if you put in the work. Know yourself thoroughly. Name your strengths and weaknesses. How can you get better? What makes you happy? If you know yourself well, you can discover what motivates you and make better choices to accomplish more and become happier. Examine your emotions to their roots. Try to detach yourself from your emotions and observe them as objectively as possible. With time and practice, you will learn to feel them instead of acting on them. Meditation is a good way to put this into practice. Increase your reaction time. When you feel the need to react, step away for as long as you need to calm down and reflect on what happened and what the right thing to do is. Perspective comes with time. The longer you can resist reacting, the more mental space you have for actual reflection, and the stronger your mind will become. Accept people as facts. People frustrate us because they are not how we would like them to be. We want them to change for us, for them to be better friends or better partners, but we cannot do this, and we have to accept that we never will. Work with what they give you, instead of resisting and trying to change them. Find the optimal balance of thinking and emotion. Thinking and emotions have to work together for you to thrive. Thinking allows you to reflect. Emotions give you the energy to take action. Love the rational. Mastering rationality comes with many benefits. Being able to tame the emotional self leads to an overall calmness and clarity. Rationality leads to less stress and less worry, a sharper judgment, and more creativity. Do whatever it takes to become rational and your life will improve drastically. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more.